right, I think we in. And we in. Welcome,
Yes,
folks.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Real Talk Tap Talks, a podcast that features and focuses on not just tap dancers, but other luminaries in various artistic realms of life. Brought to you by Shuffle Life Productions and hosted by yours truly, Nico Rubio. We intend to continue our oral tradition through speak and vibrational tradition through feet. Now, hold up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Okay, all right.
That was a long one.
I had to close that out.
Yeah.
In alignment with Shuffle Life's mission, we're here to highlight our guests' infinite individual incandescence, starting with Chicago native tap dancers and eventually expanding onto other folks. Now, before our guest is here, but just to introduce him, I have to say we have a Chicago legend with us, not just a Chicago native, Sammy Dyer alumni, Jesse White Tumbler alumni, represented Chicago in Noise Funk, a world traveler, one of my favorite human beings, period, beyond all the artistic accolades and all of that goodness. We have Mr. George Gmo Patterson III, everybody. Give it up for him at home.
Respect. Thank you, man. I appreciate you giving me that lovely shout out. You know, even I don't consider myself that, you know what I'm saying? But I love you, brother, and I appreciate that. Respect.
Love right back at you. You already know what it is. How you doing today?
Yeah. I'm doing good, man. I just had a, good vacation with the family, man. So I'm just, trying to soak these dogs, let them rest for a while, but hey, I'm in good spirits, man. I'm blessed. It could be worse. So I'm thankful, you know what I mean? So I'm good, man. How you feeling today?
Hey man, I'm in the same kind of boat. I'm ready to soak my feet like I've been dancing. I'm ready to soak my everything. Man, it's been a ride getting all this together, but I'm thankful that we're into the second day and about to wrap it up, once this is over. So things went good. We had some classes with Reggio and that went well.
Yeah.
And
gee.
You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is, for those who don't know, this is a part of our fifth annual end of the year event called the Last Shuffles. And last year, I think it was actually on this day that we had the workshop the way that it was before this year, where it was just me and another teacher each time teaching one class each. And it was just, bare bones like that. And George here was our guest teacher. And, depending on who we're close to in the dance, when we go on a gig, we're going to bring, certain folks in with us, even if they're just coming to check things out. And so Reggio was here last year or at the our workshop. Yep. And it's dope that a year. Yeah, man, it's dope. A year later, we got him involved in this, and we still got you with us.
Yeah, that's dope. Hey man, I appreciated it. It's a wonderful thing giving back to the dance and letting people in the Chicago vibe as much as possible. So, it's definitely a beautiful thing. Definitely a beautiful thing.
Truth be told. Yeah, and I'm trying to avoid too many of the stock questions, like the typical questions, but as I mentioned, you are a Sammy Dyer alumni, and you were with the Jesse White Tumblers. And
yes.
So with that in mind, like, how did you get into tap dancing or dancing period, and what came first and all of that? Like, what's your origin story, a little something for those who don't know?
Yeah. Well, I'm cut from the Sammy Dyer cloth. I've been a part of that, I guess, since before birth. My mother was a teacher there. She was actually the first student of the year at Sammy Dyer. So my cloth is long from there. So that's where it started, but I didn't want to get into the tap thing too much because, it was just all girls at that time. Really no boys was interested. So I didn't want to feel like the only one at that time. So when I first got into Sammy Dyer, so I started fairly late, man. I didn't start tapping till 13. tumbling was what I really wanted to get into. Jesse White did a lot of stuff for the community, um, uh, especially for the inner city, the projects, Cabrini Greens out there, and I would always just admire, what they would do when they would be at different venues, or they would give back to the kids and stuff. So I always wanted to be a part of that. And Roger was our tumbling instructor at Semi Dyer, and he just kind of took me under his wing and embraced me wanting to be a tumbler. So that was kind of my first love, to be honest, was be a tumbler at SDS, which was a big thing at the time. But like I said, there wasn't a lot of men, boys tapping at the time, So, but I would always peek into Ted's classes, and and I feel bad, for myself that I didn't jump in there much sooner to get that knowledge, But I was young. I didn't know no better, But my mother would always try to push me in there, man. I swear, she would always say, "You need to take with Ted. You need to get in there with Ted." And I was just so into one to tumble, man. I just was like, all right, I'm gonna check him. But so I regret that part of my life, man. I really wish I would have, started to dance much younger to have a better understanding. And even though I have a deep love for it now, even a deeper love, if I would have started younger. But yeah, that's where everything kind of just cut from.
Word, word.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what we have in common, because I actually started with gymnastics first too, or tumbling, depending on what you want to call it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's ill. So do you remember, like, how did you get involved with the Jesse White tumblers in particular?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because yeah, they would have random auditions like every year. Like once a year, they would do auditions so you can be, at least chosen or thought about joining the team. And you know, I felt at the time I was getting better. I mean, even though I'd been tumbling since maybe like 8 or 9. All right, so at that point, I felt like I was at least good enough to try out. You had to do the basic backflips and be able to do running punch fronts, what we call front flips, no hands, punch fronts, and no hands and all of that. So at this time, I was Rob was another guy named Rob who was a teacher at Sammy Dyer. He was already on the team. Well, he took me and a couple other fellows and a couple females to the audition, and lo and behold, I was blessed enough to be able to try out against a lot of kids, man. It was 1,000 kids there, and I was able to make the team, man. And it was a beautiful experience because I was able to then, you know, perform at the Bulls games halftime, and all the different state fairs and Taste of Chicago and everything around the city, and go to nursing homes and perform for the elderly, and what topped it all off is that we would get paid for it. So even though I was young, 14, 15, 16, different places that we would go to, we would get a couple $100, that he would pay us for performing. So that was kind of really my first professional experience, being able to perform somewhere as a kid and actually get paid to tumble. I thought that was, man, because I just wanted to be on the team. I didn't even know you got paid to do that. So that was crazy to me. So I was basically making money as a young kid, when he was trying to keep people off the street, keep the kids off the streets, focusing on something positive. And that really got me into, wanting to do things positive, the positive way. And I was able to make, a little money on the side, man. So yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Word, that's real. That's crazy. That's super dope. How old were you? You think?
Uh, I when I first tried out, I want to say I was maybe like 11, 12. I think, and it was a later callback. Like I didn't get on the team right away. It was almost like a year later or something like that, because it was a lot of practicing in between and a little training and stuff like that. And once we did all that, then I was finalized to be on the team. And I stayed on the team until 16. So maybe like 4 or 5 years on the team, something like that. I would stay 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
That's what's up. Yeah, you have
So
some
yeah.
some pretty ill throwback photos. I remember seeing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got some good photos, and I mean, I was definitely dangerous back then, man. I flip off of everything, couches, tables. It didn't matter. The cars, that was just a thing back then. In Chicago, for me growing up, that's what it was about, really. If you wasn't in the streets, you wanted to try to get on Jesse White.
Exactly.
So that
No,
was
so yeah, for
yeah,
those who, not to cut you off, for those who don't know,
yeah,
the Jesse White tumblers are legendary. And
for sure.
honestly, I can't speak for if you're not like in the shot. I don't know like how well known they are around the world. I know that they, cats traveled and all that, but I just know, just like Gmo said, like, when I started what got me into tumbling was the Jesse White tumblers came to my school, my middle
See?
school. And I had so
Mhm,
much energy as a young kid, and I always wanted to do some daredevil ass shit or something. So I was like,
mhm.
I need to do that. Like, my fam had been trying to get me to dance, and I was like, nah, just like you said, I ain't see enough guys doing it, to be inspired for that. But
Right.
the tumbling, that definitely did it for me. Because these cats are like, sponsored by McDonald's, and being at the Bulls game, so they'd have the flags of the Bulls or
Yes.
McDonald's, and they'd be flipping over it, raise it higher, flip over it, raise it higher, flip over it,
Yeah,
and doing all, and just
yeah,
like back to back. It wasn't like, one goes and then you applaud, like, those style graduations. It was like, nah, just like,
yeah.
we're gonna keep on building.
Non-stop.
Yeah,
It was
no.
definitely the next level of tumblers in there, man. There's some special cats in there, man. Like we had cats doing double backs on regular mats. It wasn't no spring floors. They were doing triple, full punch front, go back the other way, tumbling. They were young, man. Like I wasn't that gifted to get to that level. But I mean, there was some cats on there that was very special, bro. That I still haven't seen people do on regular spring floors that they were doing. You know what I mean? It was Jesse White had some special talent, man. Even if you go on YouTube right now and you look up Jesse White tumblers, I'm pretty sure it's trillions of videos because they weren't video at the time. I was a part of it, But if you look at any footage on Jesse White tumblers right now, you'll just see how special I'm talking about. These kids they were born to tumble and perform, man. It's different level, different level.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing to me was, I have a homie who I met through street performing, and he was a part of the Jesse White tumblers, and he was telling me, this could be hearsay, but that there's a contract that pretty much just says they ain't liable, because the way that they taught you was like giving you some foundation and form, but it was really just like, do it. Like getting
Yeah,
over that fear. So was it the same vibe for you?
yeah. I can't remember the actual contract. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put them out there like what the
Right,
contract
right.
was. Probably too, because my dad or mom probably filled it out or whatnot. But you definitely took risks, man, because we would perform. The match would be on concrete at a lot of the places. You know what I mean? If we weren't indoors or something, the match would be on hard concrete. So, that's why I was saying you had to be good to be on Jesse White, because if something happened to you, you don't want to say, "Oh, you shouldn't have been here." You know what I'm saying? So, you definitely had to have a certain level to be a part of that team, man. And yeah, man, it was a beautiful time. Beautiful. It kept me off the streets, bro. For real.
Yeah, I feel that.
Early
Yeah,
in my life,
yeah.
yeah.
So was there like anything else that you were doing that was interesting to you when you were younger? Or it was mainly that.
Yeah, they had the music, man. I tried to get into music. My dad was heavily into the music thing, but he did tell me very young he didn't want me to be a musician. I don't know what that was about, but he didn't want me getting to that world that he was in. And so he straight away kind of showing me the tricks of the trade. I kind of had to dibble and dabble and try to get in where I fit in with it. But I did want to play a little piano, man, and dab into that world. But my dad wasn't really with that, man. He wanted me to find my own voice and do the things I would want to do other than what he did. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
real.
kind of basic, yeah.
I mean,
But
you know,
nothing too
things.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's real. You never know. You know, like the crazy thing about doing these podcasts is I know a lot of these things that, you know, I'm gonna be bringing up and that I brought up, but there's other things I don't. So you never know. Um, but man, I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
since we brought up your pops, like I'm we've been wanting to do this for a minute. And I want to do this again when we can
Yeah,
actually be in person, you know, and like, you know, to do it a little safer or something. Um, but so we'll dive in deeper. This is just like a taste, you know, but for those who don't know,
mhm,
your father, like you said, was not just, you kind of said it like casually, like you know, he's kind of a musician or something. Like, nah, he was a beast. From my understanding, he was a part of the Interpreters and the Midnight Movers um,
mhm.
and all that. So, you know, do you want to give a little background on Pops one time for the people?
Yeah. My dad, George Patterson Jr., saxophonist, arranger, producer, played many instruments, uh, especially anything woodwinds, flute, you know, and all of that, saxophone, clarinet. But yeah, he did a lot of music for the Osley Brothers. It's Your Thing. If you know that song, he arranged that. So it was his. He brought them back actually with that. At the time, it's, you know, the Osley Brothers was kind of on the down. It's like, which, that sounds crazy because, you know, they've always kind of been that group. But my pops brought them back with that record. You know, I can definitely recall that and know the story on that. So It's Your Thing was like his biggest, I would say, biggest hit today that he did. But he did a lot with Earth, Wind and Fire. Maurice White was his roommate for many years before they got real big and did their thing. But he did a lot of work with them. He also was a part of Heartbreak Hotel with the Jacksons. Him and my godfather, Tom Washington, who's another Chicago legend in Chicago. Um, but I mean, Roberta Flack, The Emotions, Best of My Love is another song that my dad was heavily a part of. So it's a lot of, he had a lot of records and things he would do in the city, man. He's definitely a legend. Now that's a legend. He's definitely a legend in Chicago, man. You know, if anybody wanted to look it up. I think they have a new website too. I just ran into, I meant to tell you about, called 312 Soul. That basically tells you the
Mm.
history of Chicago soul music that people can go check out. And they actually have him on the first like wallpaper when you go onto the site, man, that I checked out recently as a young, and he must have been like 16, 17 years old. Um, but it just tells the history of soul music out of Chicago, and he's definitely all through that. So he's definitely a legend for real, man. You know, I miss him, man, and yeah, that was who I looked up to.
Yeah, no, that's real. That like I just checked out the site. I'm doing all kinds of multitasking, and yep, that one of those
I see
photos
it.
you sent me the other day. Yeah,
Yeah, he's on the main page. I just ran into
yep,
that recently. So he
that's
definitely,
ill.
they definitely represent him and look out, you know, in the city. Even Kanye, man, he reached out some years ago, right after my pops died, maybe a couple years after he passed, and wanted to remake original song that my dad did, you know. So he definitely looked out. The song was called Another Again, if anybody want to check that out, by John Legend. And Kanye definitely blessed it and made a super classic with John Legend.
Off
That's
that
nothing but
lost for
admiration.
words.
Yeah, off that loss for words, man. And so that's nothing but respect. That just showed me right there that, even the cats in my generation, especially Kanye, because he's a crate digger.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye's a crate digger, and he's about the city. So he was looking. That shows me he was looking to see what was going on in Chicago, and showing my dad that respect, man. I thought that was respectable of him, man. And Kanye will always have a real place in my heart for that, bro. That was love.
Yeah, no, it's super dope. I mean, the crazy thing is you told me about that a little while back. And then when you reminded me about it again recently, like, oh man, like I don't produce and make beats on the regular. But
Yeah,
I'm definitely a crate digger at heart. And I just have such a love and appreciation for samples. Some people look at it as like some people look at hip hop producers as lazy, but it takes a lot of, work to not just find something, but to do it justice. And so, I might as well play for folks. This is a little bit of the original joint. So hopefully you could hear it well.
okay, right. Little mix and match. Yeah,
So this is the original joint, Lost for Words,
yeah,
by the Midnight Movers, but it's the very beginning used.
yeah,
I'm gonna run it back one more. So,
yeah.
and this is the original,
That's the original, right?
and then this is the John Legend joint.
Yeah, that's that song.
We did it again. Yo, this is my ish. Like when I found that out and you told me that story, I was like, what?
That's
So
that's my boy too, man. I still beat that in the caddy loud.
yeah, yeah, and I haven't told you, but actually, I ended up doing a combination in my advanced class to the John Legend joint, but I was
Really?
doing, yeah, I was doing pretty much the same thing. It's a pre-recorded class, so I'm talking to to the screen, but doing the same thing, just playing the original and then playing the John Legend joint. I did the instrumental, because who knows what ages might have taken the class and that song, goes there, but. But yeah, nah, like yeah, it's just as a nod. So folks. You said what?
Yeah, I appreciate. I said you be holding out on the bar, so I know.
Sometimes, every now and then. I mean, man, we could kind of get into that though. What's crazy is for those who have followed us, you might know what's up over the last like year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
But for those who maybe don't know of our journey with getting back in touch in terms of like shuffling together, is one thing to like keep in touch by phone or text or Facebook or something like that. But last year I was able to produce a Jay Dilla themed tribute show. And I was able to get, George involved here, Trey involved. I was basically able to choreograph for my family in the dance, which was crazy special to me, especially you and Trey, because, you are both choreographers, dancers I look up to very much, but choreographers I look up to in a major way. And so to be able to choreograph some bars for y'all was ill. And so fast forwarding to this event, I was able, God bless the dead, from your pops to mine. My pops passed in May, and I was able to put a tribute together and send you video, and you impressed the shit out of me like always with, like you learned them bars quick. But I was at least, I felt really good that in the show we did last night, the show we presented last night, I was able to finally learn your piece, Do I Do, and perform that. So,
you gave me that same respect. You learned it within a week, man, which is impressive. And that piece is, is a classic piece, man. I did that piece 17 years ago, man. And, I was in a different space in my head with the dance at that time than I am now. But, to pick that up within a week, man, that's respectful, man. So, you get all my props for doing that.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I mean, I don't know. I'm horrible at taking compliments. But also I have to let the people know, like, that's one of the dances in Mad Rhythms that, like, me, when I was just a scrub in the company, I wasn't shit, in the company or in the world for real. But that was one of the pieces that was like over here, like that was Adult Swim. that wasn't like for for me, me at least. And
We
so
did put
like for you said what?
put that to the side. That was you know, that was for the older heads, and we brought the one younger head into it, but which
Yeah.
was Jamal. But yeah, you definitely was coming up, and yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
did.
mean, yeah, I got to do it now. I mean, the thing that's crazy is like I was, for years I was watching it and like, so I'm saying this to kind of say two things. One, it was like a dream piece to be able to learn and perform. So to be able to perform it with you and Trey was super fresh. But
Yeah,
also like, um, it when I learned it in a week's time, but I had been seeing it forever. So it's like one of your favorite songs that you ain't never like performed on a mic yourself. So by
for
the
sure.
time, you
Right,
get to
right.
learning it, like, I kind of had it in my head. I just ain't never done it for real with my shoes on. But, for those, who might be interested in these tidbits, I learned it a little from video, but after I got like one good session in with you on some masked, wearing hazmat suits type vibes, to be
Right,
cautious.
right.
But like I'm so glad that I got to learn a little bit of it directly from you. So, that was
Yeah,
ill.
yeah, man. Again, yo, it's respect and appreciation. And that's what it's all about with us anyway. You already know what it is, and I'm glad that that you still wanted to even learn it. You know what I'm saying? It's an OG piece, but it means a lot to all of us in the city, man, because we were just at different times, different head spaces at that time, man. And I'm glad all the family knows it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it, and it's just a piece that I feel good about when everybody's doing it, because that's what it was for, really. You know what I mean? The piece was created off. My dad was real ill at the time, man, and he passed of liver cancer, but it was going to be our first time performing together, and he asked me to put a couple pieces together. So "Do I Do" was something that he suggested I choreographed to, and that was the first piece I ever done. I had never choreographed anything prior to that.
But
So that was my
what?
first piece, man. I had never choreographed anything prior to that. That was my first piece I had ever choreographed, and
Come in
so
the game with that. Like for anybody who's tuning in who knows what we're talking about, like how you come in the game with that fire, like I
that
mean
was
that's
that,
ill.
and that was, again, that is just derived from my, like, how I was back then, man. I was a tap studio rat. You know what I mean? I always wanted to be in the studio. I'm cut from Phasals, you know what I'm saying, and out of New York. Like, when I was on Noise Funk, man, during the day, I'd be in the studio. I'd be spending money, even though I could probably go to the theater and and be in the theater all day. I would go chill at Phasals for a couple hours before the show. But that was like a daily thing, man. That was like a daily thing. So "Do I Do" is just you know, just cut from me being always in the studio at the time. And it flowed, man. Like I didn't even know how it was going to turn out, but I did choreograph that like within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I choreographed it in a basement on a little board, and it came out, man. And I haven't changed it really. There's some remixing that we all do, but it's a piece that stood the test of time, and I'm proud of it, man. I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you should be. Stars in the comments. So thanks for tuning in, Star, and the fam who's texting me and all that right now.
What
You know,
up, sis? It's all good.
yeah, and that's another ill thing that I love about the dance is like how things change over time, and then how
Yeah.
we get to debate things. Because when we were pre-recording for the show, that final piece, we did it as a final piece, was supposed to be 5 people. We ended up with 3
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
due to
Yeah.
circumstances. But I was learning. I learned most of it from you, and then I had to learn the rest of it from the tape. And And so what I was learning was maybe like some newer, you know, remixes, because I was seeing a clip of, you know, Mad Rhythms folks running it from when they did it in their show in October. And and so when we got to filming it, we got to a certain section where Trey was like, nah, it's actually this. And I'm like, the tape said that. And you like, it's actually, and you know, just to have that, you know, not debate, but that moment of figuring things out and like trying to track, like at what point did we play telephone and somebody heard it this way and said it that way, you know, or just remixed it, period. So, you know, that was dope to that when we were about to film it, we had that moment of, you know, trying to clarify and get things, you know, proper.
I gotta find. I have that footage somewhere too, man. Like I said, I did it for, you know, me and my dad's only performance together, man. You know, and we got to perform it at the Isaac Hayes Club with me, Brill, Trey, and Jamani. And I gotta find that footage, man. I know I got a piece of it. I think it's a piece of it on the internet, just from like somebody chopping some of my footage up. But you know, that was the first time and the only time me like performing it with my pops. And you know, I'm glad my brothers was next to me doing that, man. It was a dope time, bro. Dope.
Yeah, no, for real. Man, and I love hearing this story right now. That's why I'm glad that we're bringing this podcast back. This is actually the 10th episode right now, which is super ill. Like to reach that milestone. It's only 10, but that's still like
Hey, it's coming. You doing great things, man.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm thankful that I don't know, you know, I'm thankful that I'm extended family with some of the illest artists, you know, of all time, so that the things that I'm doing, I get to do it with my peoples. And you know, it's not like I'm hiring strangers or nothing, you know, but nah, man, you know, to hear that, like, I don't think I knew that tidbit of information. That maybe I knew that this was your first piece, but I don't think I knew that Pop suggested you to do that song. So that's
he gave me a couple songs to mess with, and that was the one that my mother really liked that song too, so I really wanted to try to do something with it, you know. And I really thought about it, man. I mean, it was a good, like I said, it was just a different time in my life where I really was all about the dance. I ate, slept, all that, you know. So it was just putting it out, you know what I mean? And again, for it being my first piece, man, I'm proud of it. And I'm glad, again, like everybody in the city respects it and shows me love for it. You know what I mean? That's just respect and love, man. And, you know, I couldn't be more thankful off that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and now another generation knows it. You know, Mad Rhythms doing it in their show recently was super fresh. And honestly, that was another part of my inspiration to learning it. I'm like, nah, we can't have like a generation after and another and 2-3 generations after know this, and I still ain't got these bars. Like,
right. No, that's
after all these years. But nah, it's dope that, you know, it's staying a Chi-Town classic as it should be. So you mentioned noise funk, and man, we should definitely talk about that. So what was that experience like? Well, first of all, let me say, for those who don't know, if you somehow don't know it, or if you're not a tap dancer,
right?
Savion Glover produced a show back in the 90s. I'm forgetting when it first came out. Bringing the noise, bringing the funk.
Like 96, 7, maybe is when we started putting it together, I think, for sure.
Crazy. And it's like still to this day one of the illish, you know, not just tap shows but Broadway shows of all time. I think, you know, if it was brought back, it could you know, stand the test of time for sure. But you ended up being, from my understanding, you know, the Chicago cat to represent on you know, on that show. So how did you get involved with that? And not only what was the performing experience like, but what was the funk you experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it was first off, yeah, noise funk, man, bringing the noise, bringing the funk. I would definitely put that for me, not just because I was in it, but like I think that was the greatest show ever created. To be honest with you, man, it's just what it represented, and just Save as a dancer at that time, man, and what he gave to it, man. Like he won best choreographer that year. I mean, he had to been under 20 or around that, you know what I mean, to win the Tony for that. So that just shows you, you know, uh just his direction on how ill he was and still is the GOAT. But yeah, man. But funky. I got into it. Again, me and Save always had a connection. I had known Save since Tap Explosion, Sammy Dyer. Actually, that was my first master class. How about that? That was like my second tap class ever.
What?
No, yeah, serious. Let me tell you. So Ted Savion came to do the Tap Explosion. Ted had left to go do Black and Blue. Um, and he brought Savion back to Sammy Dyer. I don't even know how many years after, maybe a year after or a year and a half after the Cheetah workshop. Jay Fagan was in that workshop. He can attest to this. Um, and that was like my first introduction to who Savion was, as far as in the class setting. I had seen him perform by that time, but they put me right up in front. I had never took a tap class before. So that was kind of my introduction to tap dancing for real, for real. Um, was that master class, Prior to that, um, Black and Blue was the first Broadway show I had ever seen. Because the school wanted to go represent Ted and see Ted perform in this. And my mother asked Shirley Hall Bass, God rest her soul, could I join them to go, represent Ted and go support him. And they thought about it for a while because again, it was all girls. Ted had a great group at the time that he would always get back to when he was teaching. And they, it was basically all girls that was going to support Ted. And my mother asked if I could go and they let me go. And that changed my life, bro. It really changed my life because I wasn't into tap, like I said. Prior to that, I really wasn't into it like that. And since I was the only boy in the show, I got to kind of hang out with Ted and Save after the show. It was like he the only boy, like y'all take him kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? And me and Save, grew a relationship. Me and Ted got close. I had known Ted, but we hadn't been able to spend a lot of time together. So that was kind of my first introduction of even getting into the dance in general with all of that. And from that night on, it's funny because they always tell me, well, people that were there, the elders would tell me like from after the show, I was right in the bathroom practicing. From like that night, that evening, I was right in the bathroom shuffling and just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? And I got to hang with Save like the next day and the day after, him just teaching classes. He was teaching master classes at like 16, 15 years old. He was teaching grown people at like 15, bro. Like, so that was just shocking to me. Like that he's teaching grown people. Like this dude he's different. But you know, even then, he would just him knowing what he wanted to do as far as like keep the art going at that age, like saving the dance. That's why I named Savior. I mean, he saved the dance, bro. He saved the dance. And by him even knowing wanting to do that at that age, I admired that, man. Like I really admired that. And I was like, man, I want to be a part of that. Just keeping the culture going and keeping the art going. And that's what really got me into the whole just tap love in general. But back to Funk U, yeah, Funk U was a 3 month session that Ted Levy basically taught, about 9 of us that was chosen to maybe be part of the funk noise funk tour. Okay. And he taught us swing, funk, salsa, learning how to improvise, learning how to count, different time signatures. Like this is all new to me, man. At the time, again, I only had 3 years worth of experience under my belt, because Idella was my first actual teacher, Idella Reed, from Chicago, Queen, legend. And because Ted had already left, I didn't get to learn from Ted. By that time, Ted was gone. When I started tap dancing, he had already left, man. So I missed all that goodness because my mom, was around Ted when he was a baby. My mom was teaching at Sammy Dyer. So I had always been around him my whole life. It's just that I was so late catching up on what was going on. I didn't even know what I had at the time. So anyway, I was able to be a part of Funk U, due to the fact again that I had left out of Chicago around 16 years old and came here to Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my mom. And Ted would always check up on me, is everything all right? You doing good, you staying in school, you're not into trouble. And I was like, just doing my best, man, because at that time, Jesse White was gone from my life. You know what I'm saying? What I wanted to do was gone from my life. So I'm out here in Milwaukee and, just trying to find my own lane. And I had nothing, you know what I'm saying? I was hurt. And, Ted kind of, was always, again, checking on me. And one year he called me and was like, hey, you still tap dancing? And I was like, not really. He was like, hey, well, you need to get your shoes back on and start practicing. Savion is thinking about maybe doing a tour. You need to start rehearsing. I mean, practicing. If you think, you want to get down, you need to start, thinking about that. So I was like, for real? So, and it's crazy because, and this is what they tell you when, things you think of comes to fruition, right? I would see them performing on Rosie O'Donnell or something, Say Bakari, Vincent, uh, who else was there? Say Bakari, Vincent, Jimmy Tate. And when I saw the intro of Noise Funk, bro, I just was like, oh, that is so crazy. I was like, I gotta be in this show. In my head, I was like, I gotta be in this show, man, somehow. And luckily enough, opportunity came to me and I was able to get down. So I definitely did take Ted's advice and practice as much as I can dolo because I had no teacher at that point. I had left Chicago, so the only experience I had was from Mandela from 13 to 16 when I left. That was it. So I really didn't have a long you know, tap history as far as really practicing and focusing and knowing how to do it on my own. So I was very blessed and lucky, to step up to the challenge, man, and try to represent. And Ted brought me in, and the thing about Funk U as well is nobody was guaranteed a spot at the end of it, you know. So after the 3 months, if so it's like come to New York, we're gonna give you $200 to live on. We stayed at the Hotel Olcott. It was me, Shiz, which Sean Fielder, my man's Woo Woo Clan, A. Brian Glover, which was Save's older brother. He was in there just, figuring out if he wanted to do it or not, because that's how AG rolled. We had Dominique. Who else was in there? Miles. Aaron Tolson was there. Who else was there?
Miles who?
I think his last name was, I think Miles Jeffries was his last name. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's was, yeah, Miles Jeffries, I think his last name was. But it was a lot of us, and we all had the understanding that, after these 3 months, nobody was guaranteed a spot. We were gonna be thankful for what Ted has shared with us and take it forward with you if worst come to worst, you don't make it. But we all didn't care. We were just so happy to be a part of the experience, man, and be a part of something special. And again, after it was over, we got a certificate, it's basically saying we graduated Funk U. And the next step was to be weighted. You know what I'm saying? As far as what you're going to do after that, and it's crazy enough. You know, I didn't get chose for the tour, but I was able to stay on Broadway, so it worked out for me because I had no clue. Um, I wasn't into like resumes at that point. So in my head, I wasn't thinking like, you know, oh, I want to stay on Broadway. I want to go on Broadway anyway. I was just thinking I wanted to go with my dudes that I was just going through the grind with. So I wanted to go with them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I wasn't able to go with them and then I got chosen to go on Broadway, you know, my mother was like, "Oh, you going on Broadway? That's better than going on tour anyway." And
Right.
I was like, "Oh, really? How was that?" You know what I mean? So I didn't know even what that meant at that point. You know what I'm saying? As far as being on Broadway or being on tour in the show, you know what I'm saying? But I, again, very thankful and blessed that, you know, they even decided to keep me on there. You know what I mean? Me and Marshall Davis actually, which I didn't mention his name, and I apologize for that because Marshall was also in Funk You with us, and who is you know, we all know Steve Condo's student, and that's his mentor. Um, so we were the Funk You clan, man. That was a good time. Us all trying to find the dance together, and yeah, that changed my life, bro. That changed my life, and me and Marshall was able to stay on Broadway, and everybody else went on tour. I can't even remember who didn't make it, to be honest with you. It was a few that didn't make it, but you know, it was just a brotherhood. And even to this day, you know, if I see any of them, the call is woo woo woo. Like that was just our call. You know, remember the
Yep.
old Martin woo woo woo? That was our
Yep.
call. We were coming down the street, we see each other, we're screaming out to each other. If we looking for somebody up on the third floor, we screaming it out. Like it was just, you know, we was a clan out in New York, and it was like we knew we wasn't competing nowhere with the Broadway clan. Like we was just trying to figure it out and happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful time, man. Just learning from Ted, because again, that was my first time being able to even take classes from him on a regular. You know,
Right.
so I didn't know. I mean, I seen him and always looked up to him and his artistry, and you know, but I didn't. Again, man, I'm still clueless of what it meant and what he had to offer me. You know what I'm saying? Until I went through that session, and he was hard on us, man. You know, we came out of there bleeding feet and all. We used to wear band-aids on the back of our shoes. Like it was rough, dude. It was rough. We was in New York starving too. Like we didn't have much money. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to see who's gonna make it break. You know, you're gonna break and go home, or you're gonna go through the struggle and you know try to find your way. So I was blessed enough to be picked to represent Chicago. Actually, I was the only dude in the show from the Midwest. So everybody else was from the East Coast. Um, you
Holding
know,
strong for the yeah, for the whole Midwest. Damn, I didn't know that.
yeah, man, it was
That's
the
what's
only
up,
one. So yeah, they used to
man.
crack on me, though, bumping my twister, and you know, my Master P. They used to get on me, be in the hallway talking about, you know what I'm saying? They used to give me, you know what I'm saying? They used to give me. It was all love, you know, but I was trying to
Yeah.
hold it down. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah, I mean, still super, interested in that experience. Like that's just super ill because I think my first intro to Funk You was you sharing some footage of when there was like a feature on some TV, some news
yeah,
program or something. It was like a behind the scenes thing, and I
yeah,
was like losing my mind watching it. Like, wow, like obviously I'd seen the show and like I love and respect the show,
right,
but that just changed it even more, because I love the process. There's for those who don't who aren't dancers and don't get to experience the before and the behind the scenes, like that's some of the
right,
best times. Is of course is amazing when you're on stage with cats, but the
right.
in the leading up to time, behind the scenes time is ill. And so yeah, like we got to find that. I'm sure you got it somewhere.
I definitely gotta do some footage searching, man. I got so much stuff I gotta put together, but I need to find that footage. That's classic footage, man. We were all young and just hungry and wanting to be just one of them. You know what I'm saying? And it was
Right.
it was a great time, man. And two, man, we had a study guide. We had a noise funk study guide, man. It had nothing to do with the dance, but the history of the dance. Like we had to know this book like we knew the dance. Like we had to know where everything came from and while we were doing noise, what was noise about, and then just learning everything that was going on, man. So it was definitely like, going to college, you know what I'm saying, for the dance, And like I said, Ted put us through it, man. He put us through it, man. Like, to this day, I haven't been in nothing like that since then.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm
No, I can
saying? Like,
imagine. I mean, shit, I'm jealous of that, of the good, the bad, and the ugly of that. I'm
oh
jealous of the dopeness and the blisters, all of it.
yeah, yeah, it was a beautiful thing, man. And when Sade would pop in every now and then just to check, you know, how everything was going, you know what I'm saying? But again, nothing was finalized, you know what I'm saying? Like they could have just was not going to do a tour, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing was finalized. It was kind of like, let's see what happens, let's see how it looks, and we'll take it from there, you know what I'm saying? So, it turned out
Right.
to be for the best for me, to join the cast of Noise Funk on Broadway with everybody. And I'm very gracious to that, man, because it just put me in a different headspace.
For sure, for sure. Man, so this kind of is a decent segue.
Mhm.
One of the questions that somebody suggested when I mentioned that I was going to be interviewing you was to ask, where did you get your chops from? Like, where did you get not just your skill, but like your approach that is so uniquely you?
um,
If,
God
if you could
for one,
articulate that or like pinpoint that.
yeah, God for one, man. Without him, there's no me. So for one, whatever, that's where I got my chops from. Now, everything else is just, it just comes from, I guess, everything that I felt, like I looked at a lot of Ted, a lot of Save, and a lot of Gregory at that time. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That was kind of like the main people I looked at and looked up to. But I don't know, man. To be honest with you, it's from the heart, man. Right now I'm in senior citizen lane as far as I'm concerned because I'm not active. You know what I mean? I'm glad you got me off the couch and I'm trying to put it back together again. But my chops just come from the city. It comes from Chicago, man. It comes from me growing up in the house and listening to my dad play and putting all his emotions through his art and his music. I just kind of take it the same way, but I definitely would say God and then Sammy Dyer, just cut from that cloth, seeing the dance, not being a part of it, but seeing it and watching Adele and Ted practice. I used to be there sponging it, but I just wasn't involved yet. So it comes from all of that, man. It comes from the cut of Sammy Dyer and just the history of the artistry in my family with my mom's being a dancer, my dad being a musician, and that's where it comes from, man. Right there.
That's real. Nah, that's ill. Um, Before we go on, anyone who's tuning in, we appreciate you tuning in. We have
Yo, for sure. We appreciate you tuning in. Who's ever
yeah,
tuning in?
yeah.
Yeah.
Trey's in here. He said, "What's up?" Uh,
Mhm.
Sarah's in here. Uh,
Granddaughter.
Star's still in here. I don't know who version 6 is, but they in here. But man, if y'all could do us a favor and if you're still, tuned in, if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you
Yeah,
can,
man. Support.
stay in tune. Yeah, stay in
Yeah,
tune as
support.
we have. Yes,
And
yeah, yes. Shit, support beyond me. Support us all.
yeah,
I should also, man, let me grab these links real quick. I should be plugging that for one, tomorrow we still, so I just put a link in the chat. Tomorrow it's going to be free, but tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Reggio the Hoofer McLaughlin, same time, same situation. And then on, I'll keep wanting to say Sunday, but on Wednesday, December 30th, I'm going to be hosting a Chicago themed footage brunch that's at 12 Chicago time so that people can view it, you know, in other time zones without it having to be 3 in the morning or something. And
yeah,
that's free, but you do have to register. So hit that link and register for that footage night. And also, if you want to take some classes, we have pre-recorded classes that you could take. Their class packages, and there are also some. You could take individual classes. And also, this is only the second time that I'm saying it, and this is the first time it's public. But we're going to do an encore stream of our faculty concert show
for
this
sure.
coming Sunday. So if any of you missed it, you can check it out again this coming Sunday at 12 p.m. We're going to do it earlier this time. So, you know, again, if you're in another time zone, you can check it out.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
in that link, we got some merch that I'm super excited about, like this mug that y'all see me drinking from.
Yeah,
So we have
like
mugs with our logo on both sides. We have
yeah,
mugs with this image on both sides, and then we got the double-sided situation. And
yeah.
this image right here, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm super hype about some of this merch that I put together or I've designed. It's our Ascended Masters design. I guess I should bring it in a little bit closer. It says Ascended Masters down the
Yeah.
middle, and it's got a lot of folks in there that you may recognize. And then the other thing I'm super proud of, and y'all might not catch me saying this super often because I'm beyond critiquing my work all the time. The back is a reversed image. So from far, you're just going to see the Ascended Masters. But if you come close, we got all those names in black. And black on black is sometimes hard to do, you know, getting the right black ink. But this one shows up. And so, you know, I got the long sleeve. There's also a short sleeve. I suggest y'all check that out. I'm gonna lace my family as soon as I can. You know, we just got
Thank
to
you.
dip into some profits.
Yo, absolutely. Give me one. I'm already
Yeah.
repping. We already
Yep.
rep. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Gmo got the 333 joint, so you know I was able to give a little some. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
got something.
Yep.
It's all
Some.
good.
I got one more to show y'all. We have the Chicago Shuffles design that is just a bunch of names, you know, not names, but you know, a bunch of legends, past and present. Up top
Sure.
is folks who are no longer with us. We got Leon Collins, we got Ernest Brownie Brown, you know, Jenny Lagon, and then down here are the living legends, you know,
Yeah,
and
man.
a good amount of folks who are actually on the roster for our event right here. I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
super into the mic, so I might be kind of loud for y'all. But yeah, go ahead and cop some of that merch. You know
yeah,
what
that
I'm
merger.
saying?
That's
Same
wild.
shameless plug. Man, do you want to talk about any of yours soon to come ish, or you want to hold out on that? I should have
Oh,
asked you
so
before we.
wait, say it again. I didn't hear you one more time.
Do you want to tell the people about some of your stuff, or you want to hold out on that?
On my merch. All right,
Yeah,
we can hold it out on that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm in, anything I do create is all about tap honors, you know what I mean? And honoring the dance. So it's never about, nothing but that. But a lot of that stuff is just me wanting to represent the artist when I'm walking around, you know what I mean? So I try to do just something fly and different, man. That's what it's about. Shot style,
right,
just fly and different. And
exactly.
that's all I want to do, man, is just rap 'em when I'm walking around and but not yet because I didn't hook y'all up yet. So until I get everybody straight in the
Right,
shot, I'm gonna speak on it.
right. Yeah. I need to, I'm getting back into podcast mode. I need to get better at I need to check on some things before I start asking people publicly.
Yeah,
But
no, it's cool. It's cool.
yeah, but this is totally off subject, but I had to rock this shirt. If I'm gonna have you on the joint, I don't know if
All
you could
right.
tell the what I'm saying, the Griselda joint.
Yeah, that's my damn the dudes right there. GFX,
Yep.
boy.
Yep. Yeah. So just to get off tap for a moment, because I'm sure we got some folks tuning in or who are gonna tune in who aren't about this shuffle life as hard as we are. But
For sure.
what you listening to these days that has nothing to do with the dance? Like what's in rotation for you?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely listening to, GFX, the Griselda family. I'm definitely on RJ Payne heavy right now. Definitely bumping RJ Payne. Who else we got? Ransom, of course, out of Jersey. One of the illest that, which he been around forever, but the respect for his craft wasn't, as such. So now that the Griselda's popping, Ransom gets to come back out and basically do what he's always been doing, because it's basically the same lane that Griselda's in. So what I've been kind of bumping recently: Ransom, RJ Payne, Griselda, and that new Buster is fire.
Ooh, Buster killed it with that shit. Like
That new
he
Buster
did
is
not hold
fire.
back. Yeah, like that's everybody's been saying it, but that's probably his best project to date. And
Yeah,
that's been in rotation. I honestly haven't been able to listen to music. I've been in so much in like create and produce and all that mode. But
yeah.
yeah, no, that's something I'm going back to. And I love that you send me music. You be putting me on, and especially with Ransom, like this cat just doing full tracks with no hook.
Straight up, bro. Like different with the bars. You want bars? You like that authentic rap, just that gritty. I like gritty flows. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. I like gritty flows. So, you want gritty flows, that authentic cut from that, Ransom, Benny, them dudes, RJ, Payne. That's what they come with, what I'm saying? So that's what I be on, bro.
Yeah, no, it's
I
real. I dig it. It's just funny because like recently when you sent me something, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to listen to this when I'm in a different mind state. I'm
yeah,
editing beginner classes where Cass is like, hi guys, and,
yeah, yeah, right.
and then in the background I'm listening to this whole other vibe. I'm like, I need to stay where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real, dude. No, that's
But
real,
no,
man.
it's a vibe. You can't be mad. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
So this ain't got to be a super long situation tonight. This is just to give people like a little bite size, intro to, who you are in case they don't know, or more about you if they do know. And like
That's
it's
what's
just dope that we were able to do something. We still have a little, I have a few more questions to get to, but it was dope that we were able to
yeah,
get to something for now, in this quarantine time. But man, speaking of like this whole pandemic that we're not in and out of, but like in and out of different levels of, how
yeah,
you feel like you've been adjusting since this started, now that like we're almost a year in, like how has it
yeah.
been for you?
I mean, it was rough in the beginning just because it was the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know if we was gonna be able to continue to work or not. You know, luckily for me, I'm always thinking like stash. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking stash. So I was able to at least have something I could fall back on until everything kind of got back into rotation. Um, but it definitely was going to be an issue if I didn't have something to stash on. But it's better now because I am back, teaching and giving back. But yeah, the Zoom thing wasn't working for me. I don't know about you, but the Zoom vibe wasn't, you know,
Man,
I can
yeah,
like they can hear me correctly, but I can't hear what they doing correctly. That just kind of was, you know, the vibe. But you know, it's better now because I'm back in class, but I have to be again, everybody spaced out and being safe. But I guess being in Milwaukee, I know Chicago's not open at all right now, right? Teaching classes or nothing. So, you know, but
yeah,
when I am in the suburbs, I'm teaching out in the suburbs and they're open, they're running every week, you know. So um I'm back teaching as far as giving back and everything. So right now everything is copacetic, but you know, it was definitely rough, man, the first 4 or 5 months just trying to figure out what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
right, yeah, and especially for tap dancers because for a musician you got to keep your chops up by playing,
Yeah,
and as a
yeah,
tap dancer, we not only just play, our instrument is our body. So like we need to
right.
like keep things oiled up and moving. And so I feel like across the board that's one of the hardest things for cats, is feeling like the Tin Man out here, where we need someone to slide some
Yo,
oil to us so we can get
he trying
loose.
to be funny. Trying to be funny. Listen, my name in Funk U was Tin Man.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I don't think I do
Yeah,
that.
trying to be funny. Yo, Tay used to always tell me, like, you need to put some oil on those knees, boy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
That's
And
funny.
we all had to rock, we all rocked our name on the back of the shirt, the Funk U shirts. Everybody had their own nickname. And that was mine, Tin Man. So it's funny how that you just kind of like smoothed into that like that. But
Well, I'm assuming you weren't like hype about that name.
no, I wasn't, but you know, it was deserving at the time, bro. It was, you
Why
know,
was that? What was the Tin Man
no,
thing? If you don't mind sharing.
no, I just think I didn't bend my knees a lot. You know what I mean? I wasn't sitting in that chair on a lot of things and just figuring my balance out. You know, I was all over the place, bro. I still am because I'm like again, I'm not active, so I'm about 10 man again. I'm back actually to that point.
Bust that
But
shirt out.
you know, yeah. But that's what it was. You know, he would just be on me about my control and how I would my placement and how I was sitting. It just wasn't. It was 10 man like. So I
Hey
deserved the name.
man, yeah, we all got to go through those things. Honestly, like I'm assuming it was maybe a similar situation for you, but when I was younger, taking Dormisha's class, and
Mhm.
we're going across the floor, and like how she'll drill across the floor,
Right.
I was really really rusty on like a few rounds, and she
Yeah.
was like, "Why are you so slushy?" And she started calling me slushy, and I was like, "No, like that's like the worst name ever." And so like for the almost the rest of that week, she was calling me slushy. And so I think that festival ended with me still with that name. And so a year later, I was like, leading up to the next time I saw her, I was like, nah, I'm gonna get it in order. So the last thing that I'm gonna be called is a 7-Eleven drink out here.
Yo, that's funny. I would like to know what all that entailed. What did that
Yeah,
really
I
mean?
mean, it's just like her regular pullback or wing drills across the floor, and I
Yeah,
was just stumbling, mumbling through them, and it just was not.
yeah.
It
It
was the
sounded
furthest.
like slushy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the furthest thing from clean and clear. But
Right.
but I digress. But man, well, what was I saying? Oh yeah. But yeah, back to the quarantine thing. Like, so we all were on it. Everyone was on a Tin Man vibe, and I feel you on the Zoom thing, where I can appreciate it for the fact that like you get to see people and all that, and we can have people take class from around the world, and we can connect with people. But
For sure.
that's why I ended up going with the pre-recorded classes, just rounding back to this event, to the last shuffles, because you know, when I told some people I was doing pretty much all pre-recorded, they were like, "Oh man, like I really love the live classes." But you can't please everyone. You know, there are people who love the live and hate the live, and love Zoom and hate, you know, or love pre-recorded and hate pre-recorded. But you know, I dig pre-recorded a little bit better because the people who want the interaction, you're getting some kind of interaction, but it's kind of weird. Like, you know, like you said, for the students, it's probably all right because you get to hear everything that the teacher is doing. For the teacher, you in the crib or you
Yeah, man.
wherever you're at, probably by yourself, and you can't hear anything that's happening. Like, to me, it feels very Dora the Explorer, where it's like, you guys good? And like,
Yeah.
it's, you know, so
You kind of like trying to have them like you could play music for you, but if you're playing the music and they're dancing, it's bad, man. Like you don't know what's
yeah.
going on or where anybody is. So yeah, I'm you know we have to do what we have to do, but I'm not a big fan of the of that type of style.
Yeah, I'm glad that, you know, at least out there where y'all are at, you're able to still get in classes and, you know, wear the mask and distance
Yeah,
and, you know, with some precaution, still get it in, you know, as long as obviously, you know, folks are using their own discretion to, you know, stay home if they're sick or you know, feeling
yeah.
ill or something.
Nah,
So that's
it's been going pretty good for real, man. Cass has been
yeah.
doing it. Yeah, it's been going good, man.
Yeah, so this kind of feels weird for me to ask, but how did you feel about the experience of recording for the last shuffles, recording the classes and the show?
Man, for one, it was a beautiful experience because I got to see my big bro Trey, and I got to chill with my little brother, which is Nico, and just seeing your vision and you putting these things together for the city and your growth in the dance in general has just been wonderful to all of us OGs. That that's all we wanted for y'all is to be able to have your own voice and grow and do things like this. So it's just a wonderful experience, man. Like again, I'm glad you've been trying to get me off the couch for a while anyway, and get back to my mind state. So I appreciate you just constantly just reaching out to me and checking on me and you know trying to get my vibe back and being part of it was just wonderful, man. Like I got to see some of the show, not all of it yet, but what I've seen so far has just been a wonderful experience. And all shows should have that upper echelons type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Well put together. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, commend you on that. And again, thankful that you asked me to be a part of it. And many more to go, man. Like I said, I'm gonna do
Facts.
what I can, bro. I'm leaving it up to y'all, but do what I can, man. Get in where I fit in.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I appreciate the love, and it's a blessing to have you involved. Like, you know, the crazy thing when I got to, you know, when I got to meet and build a relationship with Bunny Briggs in his last years, I got to
Yeah.
see him for, you know, 5, 6, 7 years consecutively, however long. It was a long time. And every
Yep.
time I went, it felt the same. Like right now, like you know, showing appreciation to me, like he'd be like showing all this appreciation to me and whoever I'm with for us coming. And I'm like, my
Yeah.
dude, you are a legend.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like what, you know, man, like it's a blessing for me to be here in your presence, and it's the same for you.
Oh,
You know, like it's just
yeah.
ill that, you know, where I'm again, you know, I'm just thankful that my closest friends are some of the best in the trade,
Yeah.
and we're able to do some things together. So yeah, no, more to come, because last year we did a whole a Dilla tribute where, you know,
Fire.
we got to perform it
Fire.
twice in the shot, and then we got to take you with us to go out to Long Beach, California. And
Fire.
so I
That was
mean, that's, yeah, no, it
hey
was
man.
a great
That Dilla, whoever didn't see that, y'all missed out. That Jay Dilla concert is fire.
man,
Straight up.
appreciate you. Love. Yeah. I mean, we gonna bring it back. Like, you know, we still got to put up the Monk show that we had to pull the plug on for now.
Yeah.
And but we're gonna bring the Dilla joint back too. And you know, not the dream, but the goal is to take that ish around the country and around the world, you know,
Right.
and to be able to travel with the fam. You know, obviously, like we got to make sure logistics work for everybody. Like it's hard to lock folks down to something that's happening in our own city.
That's
but
true.
you know, like it's a blessing that folks are working, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if we can logistically work it all out when you know the world opens up and all that, when the time is right, that'll be really fresh to do. So there'll definitely be more to come, you know.
Man.
But before we get to our final questions, since you missed this yesterday, I'm gonna use the same clips as one more plug for our footage night, our Chicago themed footage night that's going to be on Wednesday at noon. So if you're not registered, go ahead in the links in the comment section. I put a link and you can register there. I'm also going to use the same clips I did yesterday so that I could have some exclusivity to, you know, those who join us. So when we had our faculty lounge yesterday, I played just the audio of some clips of some Chicago tap dancers to see if Cass could guess who it is. So we're gonna do a guessing game right now. You could hear the audio when I was playing it of Pop's joint, right, earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna start easy. Let me know if you know who this is. Oh, let me run it back.
Leon.
Yep. I'm gonna play a little bit more for the people.
Oh, sure. That's
Flight of the Bumblebee status.
Chi-Town, one of the Chi-Town greatest right there, man. Next to Ted.
Yeah.
I give it to them.
Yep.
Yes,
You already know.
sir.
So here's another one.
Hold on in there and tell that landlord you got a slap in your face.
Not bad.
And a rhythm in your walk.
Got that too.
And the elephant say, I'm living in a great big way. It's all the way you look at it, you know.
Got a handful of nothing.
Why, you a rich millionaire.
But I watch
Right
like
here.
a hog. Well, I'm doing okay. Living in a great big way.
Tell that to the landlord.
I'm just off in the ocean. I'm just
Who you say?
Is that Bo?
That's Uncle Bo, but the lady.
Oh, okay, you can go. I want to say Jenny. Am I
Who you say?
wrong? I want to say Jenny. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's Jenny Lagan. Yep.
Oh, I was right then.
Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yep, yeah, Jenny Lagan with Uncle Bo.
Okay.
Now, yeah, not doing pretty good. This one, nobody got it yesterday, and I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't find this recently. Let me get past the intro before he says his
wait
name.
a minute. Are these all Chicago artists or just artists? Well, not obviously because Bo not from, but they all Chicago.
Yeah. So he's gonna be singing. He's gonna be singing first.
Okay. You got it. Oh, snap.
Yeah, Skip Cunningham.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't know he blew like that.
That's what Trey said yesterday when I played it. Like, you know, I didn't know either. I met him for the first time like a few years back. It was just a few years ago.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so one more that, you know, it's another Chicago cat featuring somebody else, but maybe you'll catch it.
Yeah, that's Ted right there.
You said who?
I know that one. That's Ted.
Yep.
That's Mr. Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, yo,
yes.
listen, not to cut you off, man, but man, Save and Ted back in the day, bro, was some of the dopest. Like, yo, like the closeness they had back in the day, man, was something special, bro. I miss them times, man. Like no lie, those are some good times, bro. They
Yeah.
was when Save was like 17, 18, like around that time, bro. And Save used to wear these brown tan tap shoes, like the tap shoes like you would never buy. Like
Yep.
Save would have them, like just killing. Right. Him and yo, man, but during them times, man, those was good time. Like I said, around the time, say Ted brought him to the Tap Explosion and all them times, man. Like those was good times, bro. I miss them dudes for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, man. I mean, my suggestion to anyone listening would be sincerely enjoy the times that you have with people while you have them, because
Facts.
it ain't always some beef or whatever. Sometimes people just grow apart. But man, I don't know how many relationships with not just artists but just friends that, like, it gets cut off at some point, and then is over. And those times you can encapsulate, but you can't bring it back necessarily. And from seeing Savion Glover's New York, that documentary, and
Yeah,
seeing them, Ted and Save, in that
yeah,
man, it looked like a really, really dope chemistry and a dope team. And
yeah, man.
man, I'm not trying to be incorrect or say the wrong thing, but from my
Yeah,
understanding, like, Ted had a lot to do with, of course we just talked about Funk You earlier, but a lot to do
yeah,
with bringing the vision of noise funk to life,
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean Ted is a major part of that. And it's his expertise, bro. Like his expertise alone, you know, put a lot of stuff into perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like Ted was a big time professional before he even got to New York, man. Like he was already the dancer's dancer to us in Chicago. Like Ted was, couldn't nobody touch Ted, man. He was the best. So I mean, I wasn't there as far as doing the process of what he gave to them. You know what I'm saying? But I already know like his expertise and his knowledge of the arts and performing on all levels, was a major contributor to bringing the noise, bringing the funk, brother. That's without
Yeah.
a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Like, not everyone knows about the Quincy Jones or the Jay Dillas or the Henry Latangs or
Right.
the Ted Lewis Levy's. There's
Yeah.
not always, but there's often someone behind the scenes who's not
Exactly.
getting all the glory, and it's not to take from the person who is or the people
Oh,
who
for
are,
sure. Sure.
but like there's often people who are putting a good amount of expertise and input and wisdom and knowledge into helping bring a vision to life. So
Yeah, man.
infinite love and respect to Ted,
Yeah, man.
for
Facts.
everything he's done. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
uh
Hey,
but
listen, one more time before I cut you off again. Like,
are you good?
yeah, like a big time in my life. Like I said, I was in Milwaukee. I my mom moved out here my junior year of high school. So I lived in Chicago my whole life until like 16, my junior year of high school, and I moved to Milwaukee. Um, and again, I was out here just kind of just upset leaving Chicago and just wanting to be in Chicago and I can't, you know, tumble anymore and stuff like that. And Ted would always again check up on me. And something I never forget, man, he did a one-man show out here with Harold Nicholas, called If These Shoes Could Talk, and I got to hang out with him and Harold, man, and just again getting embraced by the art and and the love that they both were giving out. And later on, he went back home. You know what I mean? He even also came to my high school, man. I was when I got out here, I went to an art high school. My mother was able to get me into. They didn't have anything, no sports teams or anything, but they did have dance as one of the arts that you could join. And you know, Ted came out here, man, on the strength of me, and you know, came to the school, man, and you know, gave back to the kids. Ain't know him from Hobo Skip, you know, but just I just love for me, man. He came to the school and gave back to the kids and stuff like that. And when he left, you know, he sent me a pair of tap shoes and a zoot suit, which that he used at the inauguration with the Nicholas brothers, with him and
Right.
Van. Nigga, he sent it to me, man. Like, you know, that's you would think that was something he want to keep for the rest of his life. You know, he sent it to me, bro. That changed my life. Like I definitely, you know, felt proud, you know, that he would even want to do that for me, man. So again, my dancing and all of that just comes from a lot of the love from Sammy Dyer and just Ted believing in me, you know, and seeing something that I didn't even see as a tap dancer, period. You know what I'm saying? So that was a
Nah,
big
that's
deal.
dope. Wow.
I still,
Yeah.
I still got those dance skis, by the way. Black and white dance skis. I can't even believe he tapped in those, but he did.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, hold on strong like you've been doing. I ain't got to tell you to do it. You've had it this long, but man, yeah,
For sure.
folks got some memorabilia's out here, and that's
Yeah,
what's up.
for sure.
That's really what's up. And so, but sorry, I'm distracted by my mom's is sending me notes and things. um, but man, so me playing those clips, that was all that I was gonna play. And this is casual, so that was a really good diversion we took. But me playing those clips was again just one more plug for our footage event. Now it's not like we need 1 million people to come, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows about it. We've been, I started hosting some footage events via Zoom back in June, and we've done 10 so far. So this is about to be the 11th one, and I'm really excited for what's to come of things. I'm really thankful for my family, Gmo, and everyone else on faculty who's been here to help me build up this brand of Shuffle Life Productions. So there's only more to come, and even in quarantine time, there's a lot that I'm excited to be able to do and give to folks. So at first I didn't want to do these podcasts unless I was in person with people, but honestly, something is better than nothing. And
Right.
so
Exactly.
we'll continue to vibe on through how we can. But
Mhm.
before we wrap this one up, uh first again, I'm going to say this is only a teaser, so we're getting into we're at like the hour 30 mark, but there's still so many good questions. There's some really good questions that it's really hard for me to hold back on, but we're going to save those
We can say
until we get.
part two, bro. Because we
Yep.
to be honest, we could talk about noise funk and all type of stuff all day. Like I could be on
Right.
here for like another 3 hours, just
Right.
talking about my history and everything. But yeah, we can hold off for that. We definitely can hold
Well,
off.
the other thing too is like I have some questions or some topics that we didn't even get to, so we'll just
Oh,
leave all that for next time. But
oh,
at the end of each podcast, from how I started doing them, we're going to keep this tradition where we do some lightning round questions, some fast answer questions. I call this the Tap Nerd segment. So
ah,
uh, you don't have to answer these, super quickly, but
okay.
I got 10 questions for you that for folks to better get to know you even more at the end of our session. So
All right,
number
let's get it.
one,
Yeah.
what are your top, and this is really hard for people to answer. It's hard for me to answer, but what would you say are your top 3 to 5 tap dancers who who are still with us right now?
Are still with us?
Yeah, like still alive.
Oh, come on, man. You know, my brethren.
I don't know if you could say. I don't know if you could say me. Not that you were going to, but
I actually was though. Like, my 5 favorite tap dancers are, Nico Giamatti, Star, Lee, and Donetta. Those are my
man,
5. You know what I'm saying? They just happen to be from my city, but you know, and my little brothers and my cousin, but that's them, y'all my 5 favorite, period.
man, that's
So
love. That's love. Appreciate you,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean, just to get right into it, because I'm too weird with things like that. I don't know how to take compliments, but how what would you say are your top 3 to 5 who are no longer with us?
Definitely Gregory, Jimmy. I miss Jimmy, man. Uh, I miss Jimmy, bro. Baby Lawrence for sure. Eddie Brown.
Mm,
Uh, Bubba, Will Gaines, Swag King.
mm. Ooh, that makes so much sense for you. Yo, in one of my footage nights, I played some Will Gaines footage, and I had like tap dancers who we all learn and love and respect who
Yeah.
were like, who is that? I'm like, you
Wow.
don't know Will Gaines?
Right.
Um, so yeah, y'all, if you ain't hip, look up Will Gaines. And if you trying to
It's
get
cut.
put on some
It's
more,
cut.
man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That would
And
be my
so
5.
this yeah, no, that's a solid 5. That's a really solid 5. I can vibe with that. This next question's a funky one. What would you say are your favorite tap shoes, either at the moment or period?
Um, I mean, it's usually my next pair, to be honest with you.
That's real.
Yeah, it's usually my whatever next pair I'm getting ready to get is gonna be my favorite because the other ones are probably just, they're not worth. I mean, they're not. I'm not into wearing them no more. So right now it's my LV Supreme joints that Matt did for me. But once I get my black Goyards done, that those would probably be my next favorite. So right now it's the LV Supreme joints, but then it'll be my Goyards next.
Word, that's real, man. Yeah, those Louis Vuitton Supreme joints is crazy
Yeah,
fire.
I'm
Um,
Dapper Mo out here.
yo, exactly, Dapper Mo for sure.
It's
Man,
different, you know.
yeah, we won't say too much, but that's actually one of the topics I was talking about that I'm really excited to get into next time. So
You say that.
we'll get into that for sure.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is the tap nerd segment. So if you're not a tap dancer, some of these questions might be strange to you, but an extension of our instrument is not just the shoes themselves, but the floors, that we dance on. So would
Yeah.
you say, do you have a favorite kind of wood that you like to dance on?
Not in particular, man. You know what? And I guess this is for me just not performing a lot lately and just being not on the wood like I should be. I'm not I gotta get used to these slippery floors, man. Like, you know, I'm more of a solid wood type of guy. So I'm not like I don't like it feel like I'm on ice the whole time. I don't know, man.
Right.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
I guess I'm cut from that again, that phasers type vibe where I'm dancing on straight wood. Like I'm not sliding too much when I'm moving around. A lot of
Yeah.
performance was not real icy. I feel like I can't get under myself like I want. So any floor that's kind of sturdy, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Got some history in it, not these new, fresh, you're going to
Yeah,
ice skate all the way off stage
yeah. Now if you
situations.
want to get like to like oak and all that, like I ain't really tripping. If it sounds good and it's sturdy, like I like my human beings sturdy. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Nah, that's
And
real.
that's kind of how I like my wood too.
Truth. I can dig it. So kind of in the same vein, what would you say is your favorite place that you have danced or to dance period, like either to teach or perform, or just shedding, like favorite studio or theater or whatever?
Yeah, well, again, I just said it. Faisal's was my favorite place to practice and rehearse at. It's no longer there, but that's a classic studio, man, and I miss it. You know what I'm saying? But that would be the place that if I could just go back to in time, or just kind of just blink my eyes and be there, it probably would definitely be Faisal's. Would be right on Eighth Avenue in New York, which was only 3 minutes from Noise Funk. I could walk there. That would be my favorite place to even practice anything. Performing wise, nothing in general. Nothing, as long as I'm with the brothers, then it don't even matter. Just, so I would say as far as just practicing, it would be Faisal's. Performing wise, anywhere my fam at.
That's real. That's super real. I can dig it. That's a
Yeah,
good one. Um,
yeah.
Now, what would you say if you had to choose like one piece of footage? What that's your favorite? What would that be? If it's a single clip or a documentary, DVD, VHS?
It's so many, man, but you know, group wise, it might have to be that Berry Brothers. I'm sorry. You know, flipping them canes and then running up, throw the canes, 1, 2, 3, run up, jump basically 10 stories down to the splits, get up, catch the canes, 1, 2, 3. That's one of the hardest. Man, ain't nobody doing that right now. Period.
No,
If
son, no,
somebody,
no.
if anybody out there can recreate that Berry Brothers, I'm gonna bow down. You the illest I've ever seen. Period. That's
Yeah, I ain't doing that. You ain't gonna catch me doing that. I ain't
bruh.
gonna get that title.
That's
But
one of
nah,
my
it's
that's one of my favorite. As far as groups, I mean, it's a lot of others, but when I think of like just wow factor, you know what I'm saying? For them to
yeah,
be tapping in time with the Canes, and then to do all of that and then it's just that's one of my favorites. Definitely the Sammy Davis, Gregory Hines tribute. Gregory giving Sammy his love and respect.
yeah,
That's the most loving. When I think of the dance, I think of that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think of you showing love to something that means so much to you. You couldn't even that's showing love. You know what I mean? It don't get no better than that. So that would be my favorite footage is for like individual is that
yeah,
piece. Um,
yeah. That's real. Yeah, him
yeah,
giving him his flowers and then them getting on stage, and and I
yeah,
feel like that was like not not too not too long before Sammy passed. So, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, for real. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He was able to, do that before he left here, man. That was, you know, that was deep, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite footage, bro, of all time.
nah, that's real. I feel you. Yeah. Now what
Oh,
would you say?
one more. Wait, I'm sorry for cutting you off again. And then
No,
I
you good.
had footage of Jimmy and Barry Harris that I've been holding on to forever. Jimmy Sly and Barry Harris did some footage at a school. You're not gonna be able to look that up. Stop. You're not gonna be able to find that. Uh,
All right. You see me.
but yeah. But that was again my respect and love for Ted. It was something that he gave me long time ago. He probably don't even remember he gave it to me. But as a birthday gift. And I've never seen nobody else with that footage.
Man,
I've,
yeah,
I've
no, I mean, I had to look up Barry Harris because I know that name, but I had to
oh,
double check who that is.
oh yeah, Barry was something serious, and I think him and Sly just were long good friends together. And I think Sly was at a college if I'm not mistaken, and he did oop bop shabam shablooga blop and did a lot of other you know pieces. But it's just Sly just opening up and it's a good half an hour, man, and it's man, that's my best piece of slide footage I like. So I think that's probably another one, man. That, you know, of course, the baby too. It's so many, bro. We be here all day talking about footage, man. Like,
Yeah. I'm ignorant out here asking people their favorites, you know, and you got to choose one. Like, how is that fair?
you really can't. Nah,
I don't know
to
how I would answer these
bro.
questions. Yeah,
Like
you know, you
Eddie Brown footage. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's so much footage. Like,
right.
you can't get one footage, man.
You know that clip of Slide doing Yardbird Suite where all the furniture and things are disappearing?
Wait.
Maybe if
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
yeah, it was a part of a Charlie Parker documentary, and there's somebody who's like
Mhm.
sitting in the frame, and he's not doing anything. He just disappears with all this stuff. But
Right.
when I was showing that on one of the footage nights, I think it was Aunt Di who was saying that when I was trying to figure out who is that person sitting there, I think
Mhm.
she was saying that it was maybe Barry Harris. So you know, that's
Right.
something I gotta follow up on. That's why, again, when you said that name, I had to double check that's who I was thinking of. But I'm still gonna try to find that footage if you don't share with me first. Now you
Yeah.
got me on a mission.
I'm gonna unload you once I get all my stuff together, man. I'm definitely gonna bless you with it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
Nah, Slide is one of the illest of all time, and that's not even either of our
One,
opinion. That's just factual.
yeah.
You
He one of
know,
the realest. He's not just one of the, illest. He one of the realest. You know what I'm saying? That's just as important. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, Slide, Slide, I had a conversation with him, man, and before, I mean, like, I had met him numerous of times, but I never got to really speak with him one on one and kind of hang with him, and I got to do that in St. Louis, when everybody was kind of doing Imagine Tap, and I wasn't a part of that, but I was in St. Louis at the time, while that was going on, and because of that, I got Slide all to myself, which I was happy about. So I got to really just vibe with him for a couple of days and walk with him and talk with him, and man, I just listen. That I'll never forget that experience, man. And then for him to like reach out after the fact, like he called me on my birthday a couple times. He reached out to me on a New Year's, bro. Like Sly called me, bro. Like that's why I always say, like anything happened in this art with me, and I don't care, bro. Sly called me and checked out and looked out, like what's up, like and it was too because I had made him some videos of like my favorite footage of him, and I
Mm.
sent it to him through his man's out there that was looking after him too. So and he respected that. A lot of that was with that Barry Harris footage too. I think he didn't have it, so I had shared it with him. And but after that, he kind of just always just kind of reached out, just cause, you know what I mean. And I'm not gonna say it's a whole lot of time, but it was more than 3, and that's all. I didn't. One would have been good enough for me, but he did reach out for me a couple times, man. And to me, he's the realest, that's ever done it.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to keep myself together over
Oh,
here. It's crazy because this year has been catching up on me every now and then. Where like I've never been someone to cry, but man, it's been
yeah,
some moments like you saying that like is that's one of the reasons why I ride with people like you who are family anyways. But like
right.
I'm I'm glad that I've had examples of folks who acknowledge and respect and honor and do for our elders while they're here before they're gone,
That's
because again, like to have been kicking it with Bunny and he's thankful that someone's visiting him. That's
yeah,
not how it should be. Like of
right.
course it's
Sure.
amazing that he's thankful. I'm not saying he shouldn't be thankful, but I'm saying like, you know, that's how it ends up being oftentimes. And if,
Yeah,
I don't know, just in short, I have much respect and love for folks who could not just get time with our masters, but be able to, like, you know, like you said, put together some of your favorite clips of him and send that to him. And as much as it meant for you to do that to him, without even knowing, I already know it meant so much for him to receive that, you know. And this is one of the illest tap dancers of all time, you know. It wasn't just some round the corner guy.
Right, right,
Like,
exactly.
this is a legend, you know. But yeah, man, rest in peace to Slide, you know. Like, he's
Man.
the illest
Listen, man.
forever. You
And
already
that's
know.
why too I got, you know, like a high respect for Reggie, man. And again, you know, just not him being from the shop, man, but him to look after Brownie like he did, and you know, and be there for him, man, and not only help take care of him, but just to keep his love going for the dance throughout his older, you know, his older age, man. You know, that's love, bro. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? You take care of your own. You know what I mean? And that's why my respect is always high with Reg, and he'd never be nothing but the OG and my big brother in my book. You know, just off that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's love, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's about. So
No, for real, same. Like, you know, that's one of the people I was thinking of when I said what I said, and you know, like, I'm excited to chop it up with him tomorrow, you know, and talk about his times with Brownie, because, you know, for him to take care of him in all those years the way he did, you know, literally putting clothes on his back, you know, like, not everyone would do that. You know, for everyone, some people, they just want to do the things that are, you know, that are swag and swagnificent and like that look cool, and you know, like it's not always cool to do the things that are the right things to do, you know. But for the people who stay true and do those, like, you know, it's nothing but love. And I'm still taking notes, you know. I of course we all want to swag out, but I want to be, you know, I want to be one of the people who continues to, you know, try to take care of not just this art form, but its practitioners and his, you know, his people, because, you know,
you're doing a great
that's the
job, bro. That's what it's about, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what
man
it's about.
trying.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
So speaking of, you know, we only have a 3 more questions, and the next one is this one's a tough one. Yeah, you know, this is why sometimes I try to send these to people ahead of time, because I know, again, if I was in your position, I don't know how I'd answer. But is there anything that an elder tap dancer shared with you, you know, some wisdom or a quote, or, you know, even if it's not related to the dance, just something that they shared with you that has stuck with you?
I mean, it's still one I'm trying to figure out. Slide told me to keep my feet on the cardboard. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yo, Sly was good for those. Give
Right.
you a whole riddle for your whole life.
Yeah, so I'm still working on that one, man. You know, not, I mean, again, you throwing me on the spot, so that's something I really would have to sit and think about, man. But mostly all the ones that was just real, like, you know, into just giving direction. It was just always just being a good person, being a good human being, you know what I'm saying? And living by those rules, you know. And you know,
Yeah, no, that's real. You know, by the time we get to part 2, you know, you can share some more with us. But
yeah.
that's a
Yeah, I
good
might
one with Sly.
yeah,
That's a
keep your
good
feet
one.
on the floor. I'm still working on that one, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, I want to say that means just stay on the wood, I'm thinking, but and I didn't follow that too well as I should, but I'm thinking that's what that meant. But I could be wrong, you know.
Yeah, there could
Maybe,
be more to that.
yeah, we gotta ask the queen, Miss Lady, and see
Yeah.
if she heard that one before, or if, you know. And then I get to I catch myself now telling people that for some reason. I think I wrote somebody a long time ago, and I was like, keep your feet on the cardboard. I don't even know what it means all the way fully. I'm over here stunting, but I need to get my act together.
No, it's real. You know, hey, we do that sometimes. I can't front like I ain't never told somebody some deep or some deep shit I didn't even understand myself. You know,
Sure. That's real.
but now, you
That's
know,
real.
we'll have to go to the Queen source and see what's up. Um, so wait, we have some from somebody in the
What we got?
comments. Fanny
Scream at me.
Miller, Fanny Mildred. You know who that is?
Fanny Mildred.
I don't know if I know who that
Uh,
is. They said, if it's okay, I just wanted to say a special thank you message to George Patterson. It's all love. Please, I just wanted to say George inspired me to become the first non-binary transgender atheist tap dancer.
this dude. You're funny.
You know who that is?
No.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I think it's somebody playing games. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. No, that's somebody definitely playing games. Uh, yeah, no, I shouldn't have
Hey,
even read that out. I should have read that before I read it out loud. You know, I
yo,
was thinking about that too. Like, while I'm about to like start doing these lives, either that could have been, you know, that could be anybody, but anybody could be saying anything while you live on.
correct. Speak up. Use your real name. Don't be creating accounts. You know what I'm saying? Speak up or
Right,
forever
exactly.
hold your peace.
Right.
You
Say
know?
with your chest. Say
Yeah,
with your
say what you're
chest.
yeah.
Yeah. Somebody gonna end up like homie, you know, when we was on the street that time. But no,
Oh, right. Right. You might catch one. It's all good. It's all good.
so
Cats
getting
are funny stuff.
back to our last two questions.
Yeah, man.
Our last two questions. Yeah, so for this one, if you could hang out with one tap dancer for a full day, someone who is no longer with us, who would you choose?
Yeah. I couldn't choose one, man. I don't know,
Right.
bro. Like, I just couldn't choose one. It's
How about
almost
like
like if
two?
I couldn't do two. I mean, definitely Slide would be
Two or
one
three?
of them. Like I said, Slide definitely. Leon Collins would be the other one. Um, man, bro, I don't know, man. I definitely want to hang with Honey. I definitely
Ooh.
want to hang with Honey Coles, man, and talk to him and vibe with him. It's so many, bro. It's really hard, man. I put them all on the same pedestal. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to just say like, it was him. I won't hang with him and then hang with. It's like I would want to just hang with all y'all for like even if it had to been like 1 minute and then everybody 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 seconds, we gonna figure out something to say in 5 seconds. You 5 seconds, I'm gonna have something ready for each of these moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So nobody in particular, bro. Like but I definitely when I think of the city, I never got to meet Leon, so I definitely wanna, hang with Leon, and see Jimmy again, speak with Jimmy again, and even Bubba Gaines, man. I would love to hang with Bubba Gaines too, bro.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I didn't get to meet either of the last two that you mentioned either. And man,
Yeah,
Bubba had a really dope energy, you know, really dope energy to him. And that clip of him with Chuck and Honey, and just like
say no more.
he's switching the cap, you know, from side to side as he's dancing, like his swag was just like on a different
Come on,
level.
come on.
Man.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely would have had been up for that. Straight up, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so this is our last question, and yeah, so you know, without trying to, I don't know, be too deep, for me, I'm saying, but what would you like for people to remember about you, or remember you for as an artist or a person?
Man, definitely, you know, that's a good one, man. Just to know about me at first is that, I'm a realist, you know what I'm saying? try to keep it real and, you know, show love to the people that I love, and, you know, standing on mine, and also being a great father, a great husband, a great son, to my family. And, you know, just Gmo keeping, you know, like I always kind of been respected, you know what I mean, as far as the people who know me or don't know me, you know, they always kind of hear things about me. Some may be true, some may not be true, depending on what they saying. I had, who knows, but that, you know, I'm a realist. I stand on mine, and, you know, I try to represent Chicago to the fullest. You know, I love hard. You know what I mean? I don't take sucker ish lightly. You know, you know, I mean, that's basically it, bro. You know, I'm a realist, like I said, and I love hard, and, you know, I try to be the best human being I can be, you know, to my people who I love and respect, and just holding the city down and trying to just keep passing on what's been given to me, because I don't own it. You know, it's not mine to hold. So just try to give as much as I can for the next generation. And yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah,
Nothing
nah,
too
that's real.
crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Nah, I can dig it, man. I could definitely dig it. Yeah, so I appreciate you, joining us today and
Yeah, man.
us finally getting able to do this.
No, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate anybody who, you know, who joined the chat, or join the live to check out, you know, who I was or what I'm about. You know, I appreciate everybody who did that, and appreciate everybody supporting the last shuffles and what's going to continue to move forward. And we love y'all out there, and respect.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so before we close out, just like Gmo said, much love and appreciation to everyone who supported so far. You know what? Actually, while I'm tripping, I'm super tripping right now. I need to get this GoFundMe link to the people real quick. I should definitely say we have a GoFundMe campaign that we started so that we can, fund this event, because to keep it really, really real with y'all, like registration doesn't always, pay for everything, pay the whole way through. So appreciation to everyone who's donated so far. If you ain't got, it's hard times out there. So if it, don't send us your last dollar,
Right.
handle yours if you need to. But if you have a little extra holiday cheer that you want to share with us, the GoFundMe link is in there. We're gonna have that running like almost like a week and a few days from now. And thank you to everyone who's donated so far. Again, like I can't say that enough. It's infinite love and appreciation. And I also put up the link for our event. We have a footage night, a footage brunch. Sorry, that's going to be hosted on Zoom that you have to register for. So it's free, but go ahead and register for that. You can take some classes that you can sign up for individually, or there's some class packages that honestly are way cheaper than they should be. So
Right.
definitely definitely take advantage while you can, because I mean I should be
Real.
real with y'all. Like I've been sending free links to folks and all that too, and I don't know that we're going to be able to do that moving forward for every event that we do. So whether it's a
Yeah.
discount code or whatever the case may be, take advantage while you can. And what I should say again, that I've only said a few times, is this event is called The Last Shuffles, but the inspiration is to behind it is to get us off the couch and into our shoes, or even if we're just engaging like this, for people to in a time where we're normally just chilling and maybe lounging and eating and not doing much, a time to power through and power in through into the new year. Because you know for the people who do this for their entire life, it needs to be a balance of taking time to chill, but it's also sometimes where you need to power through and you need to find that consistency so that you can stay on top of your game. So the best runners know you don't just run and then kind of like slow up as you get to the finish line. If you really want to do right, you have to like push through and run at that same momentum until you get through it, you know. So that's just a part of the inspiration beyond this behind this event. So, you know, we hope that you can take these things that we're sharing with you into the new year, and that everyone can have a really, you know, positive, productive, and prosperous new year moving forward. It's been a rough one for folks this past, but going in, you know, I'm excited to get up with folks and continue sharing in the love of the dance. And that's all we got time for today. I just like wanted to share that as I'm watching the clock, as we just hit 2 hours right now. So that's a
hey, that's real though, man. You know, that's Last Shuffles, man. That's me. That's me. You know, I need that. I need that, you know, inspiration moving forward, and you know, just getting back into the swing of things, as I like to say. You know, just trying to get back to that. So, yo, what you saying is 100% correct.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. So thank you all for tuning in. We really
Thank you,
appreciate
thank you.
everyone who joined us, and we'll catch you soon in one of our events, or next Sunday, this coming Sunday, when we stream the show again. Everyone, stay up, stay blessed, and we'll catch you in a minute.
Shot time. Respect the dance.